many times and can tell you all about it, everything you want to know.
So hi, my name is Meagan, and this presentation is called Mackinac Island, the Motorless City. So I am 12 years old, and I've been going to Mackinac Island since I was 2 weeks old, and I've gone every summer, I think, but once, and I've gone multiple times in some years. So I know a lot about the island. I enjoy playing field hockey, reading, going to Mensa events, and working on my nonprofit public charity organization, Books for Bedtime. So the first question is, where is Mackinac Island located? Well, Mackinac Island is located in between the Upper Peninsula and the Lower Peninsula of Michigan. And the odd thing about Mackinac Island is that it's, first of all, it's only 8.2 miles around, so it's very small and you can easily bike around it. And second of all, there's no cars allowed on the island. So the only way you can get around is by horse and carriage, or horse-drawn carriage, and bikes. So the second question is, what does Mackinac Island look like? Well, this is a picture of Mackinac Island, commonly known as the Great Turtle, because first of all, if you flip it kind of upside down, it kind of looks like a turtle. And second of all, the interior of the island makes it kind of like a big circle that goes up higher than everywhere else, so it looks kind of like a turtle's back. So this is a video. Sorry about this.
Tech stuff happens in every program.
So this is a video that I took of downtown Mackinac last summer in July, and as you can see, there's no cars. You can see there's a lot of bikes, of course, and a lot of people randomly walking in the middle of the road, which I would not suggest because you can get hit by a horse or a bike very easily. And so there, approaching, you'll see one of the handicapped horse-drawn taxis, and it can take you around. And then behind the taxi, you'll see a dray, and the drays are used to transport all sorts of goods around the island. And they're interesting because they're very strong horses, and so they're able to go up the hills in the interior of the island. So my presentation is going to be set up as 10 reasons to visit Mackinac Island, and the reasons are not in order, but this just talks about, and so each reason is going to have a bunch of sub-reasons, and I'm going to talk more about that. Reason number 10, heart-wrenching history. So Mackinac Island has a very interesting history due to its location. And it had a very important thing to do with the fur trade and the Native American influence. So the fur trade put the Mackinac Straits area on the map. It helped out the economy, and it started the development of Mackinac Island that we now know today. And part of the reason that it started the island that we know today and started making it more popular and common to go to is because Mackinac Island was the center of all things related to the fur trade. If you were a fur trader and you had fur to sell, you went to Mackinac Island. It's just where everything went. And the fur trade on Mackinac Island produced one of the first multi-millionaires, John Jacob Astor. And you can learn more about him in a museum, and I'm going to mention it later in this presentation. And as far as the American influence goes, that rock right there, that's known as Gitche Manitou, and it's not very well known at all because there's not even a sign labeling what it is. But it's actually really interesting because according to many Native American culture, they believe that Mackinac Island was where the earth began. And so they go to Mackinac Island, and especially the Gitche Manitou, to have their marriage blessed and their children blessed. And so Mackinac Island is rich in a lot of different forms of history. Fort Mackinac. So when you first approach the island, you're going to see two big white things. One of which is the Grand Hotel, which we'll talk about later, and the other one is Fort Mackinac. And Fort Mackinac was built in 1780. It is the oldest building in Michigan. It was built by the British during the Revolutionary War, and it was the scene of two major battles during the War of 1812. It was also the first engagement of the War of 1812 was fought there. And the reason it's called an engagement instead of like a battle or war or whatever way you want to call it, it's because the fort changed hands, but not a single shot was fired and not a single blood was shed, or not a single drop of blood was shed. And that was because, so there was like a brand new like commander, captain person, and he had just been given the fort, and he had never seen war or any of that stuff, and for some reason he was still in charge. And so the other team, the other army, they I don't know if that team, they wanted the fort back because they had just taken it from them, kind of. And so they said, if you don't hand over the fort to us, there will be bloodshed. And so he had never seen war and probably didn't want to. He said, fine, fine. So the war changed hands, and it never. So the fort has only ever changed hands by agreements and treaties. Fort Mackinac today. So today, as of right now, Fort Mackinac is run by the Mackinac State Historic Parks. It is open to visitors in 1958, and they typically get around 200,000 visitors per year. Reason number 9, unique rock formations. So due to the fact that Mackinac Island is made of limestone, they have a lot of really cool, interesting rock formations that you don't really see many other places. And one of them is arch rock. And arch rock is probably the most common, or not the most common, but the most popular, everyone knows about it, rock formation on the island. So arch rock is located 146 feet above the lake level with a span of 50 feet. The rock formation, so arch rock, and I just learned this last year actually for a project for school, is made of a rare limestone called Breccia limestone, and apparently you rarely find it, and so I thought that was interesting. And back a long time ago, they allowed you to walk over arch rock apparently, and but now it's just so thin, the rays can fall down eventually, but I hope not. Sugarloaf. So Sugarloaf is one of the lesser known rock formations on the island, although it's definitely one of my favorites. After Skull Cave, which I'll talk about next. So the top of Sugarloaf is about 75 feet above the island, and Sugarloaf is also made of limestone, similar to arch rock. So Sugarloaf used to be filled with thousands of honeybees, hence it being called Sugarloaf by the soldiers at Fort Mackinac. But now it's just filled with bats and the occasional Meagan. It was fun though because they have like a rock path that goes around it, and so they don't have any signs that you can't climb on it, which is, and if they didn't want you to, they of course would have a sign. So I got to climb in it, and it's really cool. Devil's Kitchen. So Devil's Kitchen is one of the less known rock formations on the island because it's a couple miles into the island and around the island, outside of downtown, and so not many people get out there. So Devil's Kitchen is a limestone cave that was formed when the lake water slowly eroded it. Around the 1970s, the water levels were so high that they blocked the entrance to the cave. Today, the lake sits around 35 feet from the entrance, and right now the waters are really high, and so on a normal basis, it could be anywhere from in normal basis, it's around 35 or 45 to 50 feet. Skull Cave. So Skull Cave is definitely one of my favorite rock formations on the island due to its interesting history. So the cool thing about Skull Cave has a really interesting story. So the story is that a fur trader, the Native Americans were having like an uprising and a big battle was about to start. And so this fur trader, he was friends with a young Native American chief. And so the Native American chief he said please help me, I don't want to die. And so the Native American chief brought him over to Mackinac Island and took him to Skull Cave. And he wrote his diary entry that he didn't sleep at all that night. He was sleeping on sticks and stones. It was just terrible. And then the next morning when the light entered the cave, he realized that he was not sleeping on sticks and stones, and instead skulls and bones. And the reason that the Native American chief brought him there was because it's a Native American burial ground, and so he knew that they would not go over there to disturb him. Reason number 8, off the beaten path. Island life. So Mackinac Island has a really interesting island life because, of course, there's no cars, so they have really interesting ways of like getting to places and everything. So the first thing you should know is that there are only 2 grocery stores on the island. One's downtown, right when you can see when you get off the boats, and the other one's the Harrisonville General, and that's located on the interior of the island. And a lot of the islanders that live on the interior they have to go to the Harrisonville General because there aren't any other options, and it's much closer than going down to downtown. The first means they get right down Grant Hill, but then they have to go back up it again. So there's a few ways that you can tell an islander's life from a tourist's or guest life, and some of these ways, and it's actually pretty funny because like you can always tell right away who lives there and who just kind of knows the island really well. And that's a good way to tell that. So the way you can tell an islander's bike from a tourist is, first of all, islanders' bikes always have big baskets because they need to carry their groceries from the grocery store, one of the 2, or off the island to back to their house, and they need a big basket to do that. And some of them also like baskets on the back over like a little rack that's on the back over the back tire, so they can put extra baskets there. And another way you can tell an islander's bike from a tourist bike is that many of them have plastic bags over their seats. And that's so that their seats don't get damaged with all the weather and erosion. Because they have to lock them up in the front of their house most cases because they use them every day, so except for in the winter. And the last way is that they always, no matter what, have fenders. Because if you're on Mackinac Island and it rains and you don't have fenders, then, well, first of all, we get a laugh at you because you end up with a big poop streak up your back. So, it's always hilarious for us. Emergency. So, due to Mackinac Island being, so I know you're thinking, why is there a fire truck? Because they just told you that there are no vehicles. Well, that's true, there aren't any vehicles except for emergency vehicles. And even then, they only use them in a state of a dire emergency. So they have 1 fire truck, 2 police cars, 1 ambulance, 12 police, 25 firemen, and 4 paramedics. Fun and facts about Mackinac Island. So Mackinac Island is only 8.2 miles around. There are just under 500 year-round residents on the island. There are no cars on the island. Your only mode of transportation in the summer is either by bike or horse-drawn carriage. And in the winter, you also can ride on a snowmobile. And I got to do that one summer when I went out to my grandma on spring break. And I called my mom, and she was like, "Hey, guess what? It was the first warm day of the year back in Columbus." And she's like, "I'm wearing shorts," and I'm like, "I gotta ride the snowmobile." Well, of course, by then the snow was starting to melt a bit, but then like a couple weeks later, I think it got even more. So it doesn't really stop. And there's like 2 months where there's not snow. That's when we come. And so some funerals that are held on Mackinac Island are held in people's houses with the body and the casket in the house. And it's also different in the winter because the ground's so hard, especially with the snow and the ice. They have to kind of like hold them somewhere where they hold them exactly, but they don't hold them. They can't bury them right away. And no deer permanently reside on the island. And I thought that was really interesting when I first learned that because you expect with all the trees and being a state park that there'd be deer on the island. Nope, when the iceberg forms, they like run away. Reason number 7, fun activities. So So the Lilac Festival is one of the many, is an activity on the island. And it started in 1949. It brings in thousands of people every year, and it lasts for 10 days every year, Friday through Sunday. And it consists of the crowning of the Lilac Queen, and Princess of course, the Lilac Parade, which I got to walk in this year with the state parks, and that was really cool. And the island has 23 known species and 400 varieties of lilacs. Of course, there are more than that, most likely because of like the private residents. There are probably some there that they don't even know about. So here's some pictures of the Lilac Festival, and these are just a few of the many different people they have that walk in them there. And if you see right there, people like the dresses, here. Right there. I'm the one right there in the green. Yeah, I was walking on the other side of I was walking on the wrong side of the road, kind of, so she couldn't see me. Some other things that are fun to do are letterboxing and geocaching. So letterboxing and geocaching are both a great way to spend your time on the island. They're both great for children and adults. And there's a lot of easier ones if you have children. That's what we did when we first started. But now we can do a lot of more complex ones. So letterboxing consists of clues and riddles. So you go to the letterboxing website, which you see at the bottom of the letterboxing section, www.letterboxing.com, and you can type in an area code or wherever you're going to be, and then they'll tell you letterboxes that are close there. And then they give you like a bunch of they tell you a place to start at basically, and then they give you clues and riddles that guide you closer to that place. And then you have a stamp. And we made our own, and it was really fun. Letterboxing is my favorite. And then you stamp your stamp, they have ink in there, you stamp your stamp in their book, that's in the letterbox, and you take their stamp, you stamp it in your book. And so you exchange like stamp names. And then it is great for people who love an adventure. Whereas geocaching is also great for people who love an adventure, but that one consists of coordinates and they use a GPS. And geocaching is a lot more well-known than letterboxing is. And then letterboxing is great for people who have more of a creative mind, like artistic, because you can create your own stamp, you can set your own. But setting your own is actually really fun, because you get to like create the clues. And so I had a fun time. We did like, I think 3, and I made them all rhyme. So it's like writing your own like poem, but it's actually useful, you know. I don't know about useful. And geocaching is great for people who have more of like a mathematical mind. You have the coordinates and all that stuff. Mackinac Island carriage tours. So the tours began in 1869. They are educational and entertaining for all ages, and they provide you with great photo opportunities. And they transport you through the interior of the island. They give you up-close views of the Grand Hotel, Fort Mackinac, Arch Rock, Skull Caves, cemeteries, and more. They also provide you with great history of the island as well. And it's also a great way to see the island. And so when you first get to the carriage tour, you get on a 2-horse hitch, and you get that down there, like downtown when you first get on the boat or whatever. And you get your tickets and you wait in line, and then you get on the horse. And then they take you, and they ride you, they take you all around, tell you stories and stuff. And then they drop you off like a central location in the interior of the island. And then they have like little shops in there, and ice cream, that is really good. And they have a butterfly house, and then you stop there and you get on a 3-horse hitch. And then that takes you more to the interior of the island, like Skull Cave and stuff like that. And so right there, the horses look pretty big right there, but they're bigger than you even imagine, because this is a horseshoe that one of them would wear. And yeah, it's really big. Now my mom's gonna pass that around. It's actually really heavy too. And if I'm correct, I believe that's one of the ones that they use in the winter, right, Grammy? Yeah, it's one of the ones that they use in the winter for like, the ice and the snow. Reason number 6, cool museums. So one of the cool things that you can do on the island is go to the original Butterfly House and Insect World. And they are located downtown, kind of by like, I think it's like St. Anne's Church. And It's right by Marquette Park, the art museum, and like all the main street stuff. And they have around 800 butterflies at all times. They have butterflies from all around the world, and they were opened in 1991. That's cool, even if you don't, because they give you like the sheet of paper with all the butterflies on them, and you can check off when you've seen all of them. It's really cool. So here's some pictures of butterflies that you might see at the butterfly house. So you see the common lacewing, the Julia, the blue morpho, the outside and the inside. That's my favorite. I love blue morphos. They're so pretty. The rice paper and the golden helicon. Sorry, I had so much fun doing all the effects. So the observation tower at Mission Point Resort. So first of all, it has a gorgeous view. It is located at Mission Point. It is 5 stories tall, and it covers the history of of Mission Point, Mackinac Island, the building of the Mackinac Bridge, shipwrecks, and lighthouses. And it's really cool. So it has you can see like that's a picture they took from one of the lower levels, and it's even prettier from the top levels. The Student House Museum. So I don't know if I'm supposed to say this or not, but it is my favorite museum on the island. It is awesome. So it's the only sitting room museum on the island. It is the only sitting room museum on the island. It is all about the Mackinac Island history and the fur trade. It is donation only. It is an amazing museum. It is great for people of all ages. And it is housed in the original building that was Ramsey Cook's and Robert Stewart's residence for many years while they worked for John Jacob Astor. And he was one of the first millionaires. Meagan Art Museum. So the Meagan Art Museum the building is rich in history because it was originally the old Indian dormitories from back a while ago. And it has 2 stories of art and 1 for children. And the bottom story right there was like kind of like by the stairs. They have arts and crafts every day, and they have interns, and they have arts and crafts for the kids to do, and it's really fun. And they have many lovely paintings of Mackinac, including some of lesser known things such as Fairy Arch. And you may be like, Fairy Arch, if you've ever been to Mackinac Island, never heard of that. Well, that's because Fairy Arch doesn't exist anymore. They blew it up a while ago, I think like, wasn't it the 50s, 60s? Sometime around there. Because it was like they wanted to be danger because it was getting kind of to where Arch Rock is now. And the Meagan Art Museum is right next to downtown Mackinac and Marquette Park, and it is included with your board pass. Reason number 5, lovely accommodations. Again, I love that fact. The Grand Hotel. The Grand Hotel is one of the other things that you'll see when you approach the island. And when you approach the island, it's to the left, or your left, and the board is to the right. So the Grand Hotel has the world's longest porch at 660 feet, and first time to say, when people think of Mackinac Island, they think of horses, fudge, and the Grand Hotel. And so I'm going to tell you some facts that you might not know about the Grand Hotel, because a lot of people have already heard of the Grand Hotel. So 5 presidents have visited. They have 1 ton of flowers are planted each fall, including 15,000 daffodils and 25,000 tulips. More than 125,000 annuals are used in the gardens, and they use 2,500 geraniums, 260 planting boxes, 7 tons of soil, and 7 tons of soil are used on the porch alone. And that's a lot of planting soil and boxes and everything. But when you think of it, with that long porch, it's not as long as you think it would be. So here's a video that I took from the porch of the Grand Hotel. And there you'll see the Grand Hotel taxi, and they're downtown, and they take you from downtown to the Grand Hotel. And you can always tell which ones they are because they have really elegant designs, and the horses are all fancy and pretty and everything. And then behind it, you'll have a dray with the luggage that they're taking from downtown to the Grand. And now you see some of the Grand Hotel gardens. And the Grand Hotel is also known for the gardens because they have gorgeous displays of flowers and everything. and it's just overall really pretty. They also have bocce ball and croquet, among other things. And then you'll see the Grand Hotel geraniums, and they line the porch. Staying at the Grand Hotel. So the Grand Hotel has more than 130,000 overnight guests stay each season. They have 390 rooms, and the 5 millionth guest visited on June 26, 2006. I'm 2006, I don't know if it's 2006, I don't know. And then that picture right there is of the Josephine Suite, which we were able to go into, and it's just I thought it was really cool. And the cool thing is that all of the rooms are different. Like, you will not find a room in the Grand Hotel, even the bathrooms are all different. And that's always cool, like going to all the rooms and seeing all the different seeing all the different designs. So dining at the Grand Hotel, they have more than 100 kitchen staff. More than 4,000 meals are prepared per day. An average of 400 people go to the Grand Hotel's lunch buffet every day, and I tell you, it is excellent. And each season, Grand Hotel prepares, one second, let me get the water before I go over all of this. 83,000 pounds of prime rib, 23,500 pounds of ham, 83,500 pounds of potatoes, 23,000 pounds of carrot, 14,000 pounds of strawberries, 6,500 pounds of pecans, 6,320 pounds of oysters, and the oysters, let me just say this first, are amazing. They are my favorite thing at the Grand Hotel. They're amazing. I can eat those every day. They're amazing. And 50,000 Grand Pecan balls. So the Grand Pecan ball, so in order to make a Grand Pecan ball, they start with a big mound of vanilla ice cream, and then they roll that in pecans. And then they drizzle it with their homemade chocolate sauce, and then you can eat it. And it is also really good. So, other facts about the Grand Hotel. So the Grand Hotel has around 700 employees. They have 18 musicians on staff. And you'll find live music at the Grand. You'll find live music somewhere at the Grand from noon until midnight. And so they've been doing that since the very beginning because they wanted to get people in, and it's really cool. And 300 employees have worked at the Grand Hotel for longer than 10 years. And so they keep their employees around. And actually, I did this last year, and I re-interviewed him to update the information, and it has doubled. The 10 years has doubled, and the employees have only grown a little bit. So that's just amazing to me. And they have 12 horses, and it takes 500,000 gallons of water to fill the pool. And the pool is really cool. It's huge. They have a big inflatable worm snake thing. It's really cool. And back. Opposite arrow. And then, so that's a cool picture of me. I like that picture, I think of myself, because first of all, you can see the geraniums, because it really gives the essence of the Grand Hotel. You can see the geraniums, the white rocking chairs, and the white rocking chairs line the porch of the Grand Hotel, and they're really cool. They're actually really comfortable too. And you can see the flags, and the flags also line the Grand. You can see the Grand Hotel taxi, and you can see the lake right over top of the horizon. Mission Point, facts and stats. So Mission Point is 3 floors tall. Oh, sorry, I forgot something. Mission Point, facts and stats. So if you're Grand Hotel sounds lovely, but you want something a little more affordable and better for if you have kids, then the Mission Point is perfect. Because the Mission Point is 3 floors tall. They have 239 non-smoking guest rooms. They have 4 restaurants on the property that vary in price range. They have an on-property spa, putt-putt, a theater that hosts nightly movies, an outdoor pool, lawn games, and they allow pets. And of course, the Grand Hotel obviously does not allow pets, so if you have pets and you want to bring them on vacation with you, Mission Point's the place to go. Because the Grand Hotel would never, no, they would not allow that. But yeah, it is open from the first week of May until the last week of October, and they have anywhere from 350 to 400 employees at one time. And there, my picture right there shows Chianti, one of the 4 restaurants, and it is the fanciest, it is the most fancy, elegant, it's the nicest restaurant on the property. The history of Mission Point. Originally, Mission Point was built by the Mortal Rearmament in 1954. The Mortal Rearmament, or MRA, then deeded most of the property to Mackinac College. Mackinac College operated from 1966 until 1970. In 1970, a family then bought it, renovated it, and turned it into a hotel. Mission Point has changed ownership 5 times, and in January of 2012, Mission Point was featured on Ghost Hunters. I know, really spooky. Other hotels. So if Mission Point and the Grand Hotel just aren't sounding up your alley or your style, there are 45 places to stay on the island. And that includes hotels, rental homes, bed and breakfast, and condos. Reason number 4, Mackinac Bridge and beyond. The Mackinac Bridge. So before I even start on the Mackinac Bridge section, I would like to say one thing. The Mackinac Bridge, this is a rumor, the Mackinac Bridge does not go from, the Mackinac Bridge does not have anything to do with Mackinac Island itself. It connects Mackinac City to St. Ignace. And it doesn't, because obviously, since no cars are allowed on the island, the bridge would not do Mackinac Island any good whatsoever. So the construction on the Mackinac Bridge started on May 7, 1954. They had 89,000 blueprints, structural drawings, 4,851,700 steel rivets, and 1,016,600 steel bolts, and 1,024,500 tons in total weight for the bridge. And that's a lot of weight. And it still stays up. That's amazing to me. It's an engineering marvel. More about the bridge. So the bridge had 11,350 employees in the making of it. And they had $99,800,000 were spent in the creating of it. It opened November 1st, 1957, and then the 100 millionth crossing was on June 25th, 1998. So here's a picture of the bridge. So the bridge, first of all, is not like, you don't drive up that high. I was lucky enough to be able to go to the top of the Mackinac Bridge for my birthday last year, and that was really, really cool. And so that bridge was really zoomed in. It's actually higher than that, but it was really amazing, and it was so cool. The cars look so tiny. One picture of the bridge. So that's a picture of the bridge taken from the top of Chapelers when we were approaching the island. And then that one, and then the other picture is slightly zoomed in from the top of the bridge. And I think it was just a gorgeous view. I mean, it was just shocking. And it was really windy. My hair was like, whoa. More pictures. Yeah. Okay. Mackinac City and St. Ignace. So, aside from Mackinac Island, there are other things to do in the area, on the mainland. And so Mackinac City and St. Ignace are 2 other places, and they're the ones that the Mackinac Bridge actually connects. So some of the things that you can do in Mackinac City and St. Ignace are colonial Mission Mackinac, and that's they have like reenactors, and it's just like the fort would have been before back a while ago. And they also have right there the one with the soaring. That's Smoke Creek, and it's really cool. It's great because they have trails to hike, and it's really pretty as well. So make sure to bring bug spray. They have like the biggest mosquitoes ever there. It's crazy. And the boat right there, that is the Icebreaker Museum, and it is a former icebreaker that used to, well, of course, break the ice in the Straits area. And it's a very interesting museum. I actually went there for the first time this summer, and we had been wanting to go, and I highly suggested it was worth it. It was awesome. And then the lighthouse over there. So Mackinac City also offers lighthouses. And reason number 3, beautiful views. Here's a video of the harbor taken from the tea room. So, the tea room, you might have seen the yellow umbrellas in the fort picture. and that's like Grand Hotel like run like restaurant, and it is really cool. So that right there, that's downtown, and it's just really cool. Into right now, that's Marquette Park, and I think I mentioned it earlier, and like some of the things I mentioned were past it, or right past it then. And it's really cool. They have almost all the lilacs on the island, or that were planted on the island, are right there. The lilacs are really pretty there. Oh, and then did I go over the Oh, and then I zoomed in the harbor. It's actually pretty empty right now because I did this in June, and most people come in July, and so but it gets to be really full. And if you go to the tea room, you can have some really gorgeous pictures of everyone. So here's some more beautiful views. So I took that. So over there, you'll see the freighter, and I took that picture from the tea room as well. And I think it's just a gorgeous picture. And then we also have the Grand Hotel covered in misted and fog, and I think it just looks so spooky and eerie, but like gorgeous at the same time. We also have I think a trillium. I've been saying that the whole time. I've been practicing trilliums, and they're really pretty. They're gorgeous. Oh, and speaking of trilliums and flowers in general, when you're on Mackinac Island, you cannot pick any flowers because it's up to a $500 fine for each stem you pick.
Whoa.
Yeah, so no picking the flowers on Mackinac Island. And then on the top, you'll see the sunset, and that's the sunset taken from my grandma's port. And then you'll see some lilacs. One-of-a-kind transportation. Mackinac boats. So there are 3 boat lines. They run every half hour. They have both indoor and outdoor seating. And if you decide to go on the outdoor, which is really nice if you're going to the island for the first time, just be cautious because you're gonna get wet. You're not. You get really good pictures there. And it's $25 for round trip. Here's a video of travelers parking on the dock. Sorry about the finger. I took this video. So you see, this is one of the really busy boats. And if you're coming in the middle of the day as a day tourist, it's going to be like this most likely. So you see, they're getting ready to tie the rope up to keep the boat in place. Sorry, he's just playing with them. They have fun at Shufflers. And so now you see, oh, first of all, let's give me some Damien. And so now you see them pulling all the luggage out the boat, and it's just amazing me how strong they are. I mean, that's a lot of luggage. Spotlight on Shufflers. So when you first get to Mackinac City, to go to the island, you're going to see the gateway to Mackinac Island, and then you'll go through there, and then they'll direct you where to go next. So then they'll direct you to the unloading only place, and then you take out all your luggage and your bikes if you brought them, and then they put them on the carts. So very nice there. And then after you go there, then you leave the car there and make sure to keep the doors unlocked. I'm sure they'll tell you about that though. And so then you go and the ticket line. And now, they started this recently, you can get a port pass and other things in the ticket line. And then finally you go in line for the vote. Beacon number 1. Fudge! I like exclamation points. That's the name Fudge. So there are 3 major fudge makers, along with various other fudge retailers. And the fudge is made with all natural ingredients. That makes it feel better for having a deep treating unhealthy. And after this, my Grammy's in the back in a Joanne's shirt and hat. Wait, Grammy. And so we have fudge samples for active resignation. And then, and also questions before that. And we also have like some cozies and calendars and brochures. And then up front, I have some things if you want to look at them. So the stages of fudge making with Joanne. First, they mixed all the ingredients in like a big pot, and then the first thing, they pour it onto a marble slab, and then, first of all, what he's doing in the then picture, you're probably not going to see. He was just having some fun. And it still tasted good, but that's what it's at the end. And so then they mix it all around. Next, they get it into its fudge shape. Later, once it hardened, they cut it up into the fudge slabs, and then finally they put it on the shelves for you to buy. Videos of Joanne's Burger making fudge. I got it. So here's a video of him stirring up the fudge, and I think it was pretty cool. Now you'll see him like slicing up the fudge, and then right now they're working on making now they're making dark chocolate walnut fudge. So they have to pour the walnuts in, and it's a really cool process there because you can see them making the fudge in the fudge retailers, and I think all of them do, but Joanne's really hands-on because it's sometimes if you're lucky that you sample a bit before it hurts to go away. Thank you for listening to my presentation. I hope to see you on the island. And now if you have any questions. Yes?
Why, if the island is spelled with a C on the end, is it pronounced as if there were a U on the end?
I have no idea. All right. It's Native American, so that's the way it works. Although Mackinac City actually ends in a W.
What is the best time to visit, and about how long would be an appropriate time to return?
Well, honestly, as long the question was, when's the best time to go to the island, and how long would be appropriate for us to see everything? I honestly, there is no right length of time to stay there. You can stay there for a month, I'm sure, and see everything. There's so much to see on the island. What? 3 days would be good if you want to get basic gist of the island. And then
What's the best time for the flowers?
July is best for the flowers, and a lot of times you see lilacs then as well because it's really cold there. And that's just the way it works.
When is the lilac festival?
What?
June 15.
So that's basically June 15th. Yeah, it's pretty cold there. That's why I've only been there for the lilac festival like twice. Yeah.
What about garbage collection? Do they
Well,
have vehicles to get that? Do they take it off of the island?
Well, I don't know what they do. Well, so they have the dray, and the dray driver goes and picks up the garbage, and then I don't know what they do with it after. Landfill.
Megan, let me answer it. They pick up your garbage just like at your home, but they pick it up with a horse and a wagon. They take it to what we call the dump, and then they sort through it and find out what is recyclable and what's not, and then what is not recyclable, they put it on a huge truck, and then at 3 o'clock in the morning, the truck goes down to a dock away from town, and they take the truck off the island on a barge to the mainland, and then take it to a dump like at Waste Management or something like that.
Yeah, he's an islander. Yeah.
Don't people have to sort the trash in their homes already, like paper and cardboard and metal and glass and organics?
Yes, we do. In other words, we recycle, but within the garbage itself, they then go through it too and separate it even more.
Yeah, not
Because
everybody is real good at that.
there's some things, like if you put wood in your garbage, it's not recyclable, but they will take it and burn it so it doesn't go off the island, because it's so expensive to transfer stuff off the island. So they try to get rid of what they can on the island.
I would think that in a closed island like that, if at least organics were separated, might it be economically feasible to compost them already on the island so you don't have more transport and all that stuff?
Mm-hmm.
That was just my curiosity.
Yeah.
You said that Mission Point was built by the Grandpa Bank. Can you tell us more about what that organization was?
Maybe. Oh, so it was built to do videos and like movies and stuff for Moral Rearmament. And so the theater was actually one of the first things built as of Mission Point. And so other than that, we don't really know as much about the Moral Rearmament. But if you Google it, you can get probably a lot more information about that. Yeah.
Since you just studied about it, what is different about Brescia limestone and other limestone?
Well, I don't know. Well, Breccia limestone, I guess, Breccia limestone is, don't quote me on this, but is like, because Breccia and limestone are two different kinds of rocks, so together is like abnormal. I would say the basic gist of this is just that because we do like a research like postcard paper thing, like a jumbo postcards for school, and with like backs and stuff. So I don't know much about it. Yeah.
Can you take your pets on the boat across? And if you don't own a place, can you rent places that are pet friendly there?
Oh, yeah. There's plenty. Yeah, people love
Well, the
dogs.
bridge doesn't actually touch the island at
There's
all.
plenty of
The
places
bridge
that
goes
they-
from Mackinac City on the mainland to St. Agnes on another mainland. Yeah, no, and it's on the lower peninsula. Yeah.
Do you have to be a local resident, or could you be the lilac queen someday?
It's a bit, well, no.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do you go to school on the island, or are you just there during the summers?
I'm just there for like a couple weeks in the summer. Yeah.
I didn't hear you say how long it takes to go on the ferry from the mainland.
16 minutes, it really depends. Sometimes the boats it takes a little while for the boat sometimes to get going, and you have to also like, have all the luggage get off. So it really depends, but 16 minutes is about the average.
Why do you not lock your car in?
Well, they do end up locking it, but it's just for valet, so they can take it from the unloading spot to the other spot. Any other questions? Okay, thank you. So now, oh yeah.
Talk a little bit about how they get around back in the mainland during the winter with some trees and all that.
Oh yeah. So in the winter, the islanders go on the ice bridge, and that's like when the lake freezes over. They can ride their snowmobiles across the island, and so they then have like a row of Christmas tree things. And this is a video of the ice bridge, and you can see it's one of those come up and look up, like there's a person like riding their bike across, and there's just like some Christmas trees that you can see in the background. So they have Christmas trees that line like the safest part of the ice bridge, so that so islanders don't accidentally go off course and fall into the lake. Although of course every year there's only at least one per year. Yes.
In the central part of Finland where I live now, there's many islands and many peninsulas, and in winter when the lakes freeze, they make ice roads where they clear the snow and they add water on them so it thickens the ice, and you have to drive very slowly because if you drive fast then it creates vibrations and it cracks up the ice, and of course you get something that's vegetables or anything. But I was wondering if they do the same thing. You say ice bridge, we call them ice roads, but if you clear the snow off so that the very cold air can get there, and they will flood it a little bit, tiny bit at a time to thicken the ice so that it lasts long and can carry cars and people who commute there. I was working at one point.
Could you speak up, please? I can't hear a word you're saying.
I'm so sorry. But I live in Finland now, and in Finland, the area where I live, there's many lakes and many islands, and in the wintertime, when the lakes freeze, to decrease commuting time and to decrease driving time, so you don't have to go squiggling around the peninsulas, they will make ice roads. And they are made by clearing the snow off so that the very cold air, get down to minus 30, minus 25 centigrade, so the very cold air will hit the ice surface because the snow otherwise insulates it, and in the beginning of the frozen time, the parts of it will be flooded, very thin amounts of the ice will be thickened in the area for the road, and of course markers are put and the speed limits are set. You have to drive slowly because if you go normal car speeds, it creates vibrations which will crack up the ice, but it decreases commuting time. At one point I was working in a town that in the regular part of the year, I'd have to drive up and around and around and around, and it would be like almost an hour to commute, but when they had the ice there, it was just 25 minutes, and of course I use that, even driving slowly from point A to point B. So I was asking if they make the ice bridges the same way.
No, so to answer your question, no, they just do like natural causes. They don't have any speed limits or anything.
Isn't it just snowmobiles that go on it?
Yeah, it's just snowmobiles.
Oh, so it's not regular cars?
No.
Oh, then you don't need them.
No cars on Mackinac. That was the oldest.
Oh, that's right. Oh, gracious. I'm so sorry. Take my card away.
Yeah.
That's right.
You have snowmobiles. Are there also segways on Mackinac Island?
No.
No? Could there be segways on?
Illegal.
They'll scare the horses. That's why they.
The snowmobiles don't scare the horses?
Well, the Segways scare the horse.
Well, they don't have very many horses on the island in the winter. Mostly just like private resident horses and a couple other horses. And so there aren't enough horses for it to be a big problem, and they need a way to get around. So, yeah. No, I did one last year in Columbus for RRG. Thank you. So now, feel free to go to the back or the front if you want to look at some